Hey everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. Today is Thursday, April 18th. We're about 3-ish weeks away from my last estimated frost date. And I wanted to give you an update on the outside garden, this swale, if you care, and this area of grass, which you can see the little path I just took down here. And it's getting long. A lot of flowers are coming up in the yard. Violets, of course. I've seen asters. A lot of these different grasses are starting to flower and seed. Like this has pollen on it. That's how grass actually produces pollen, just little teeny featheries. These little teeny, I don't know what they're called, but I have tons of them in the yard. This swale has helped a great bit. It's going to be empty now because the drainage in it is so good. But it usually catches because that upper one is so far over here and the drainage to the corrugated pipe is probably right there, that this swale stays pretty dry until maybe about here. And then you'll actually see, not today, we only had a ½ inch of rain, but when it's wet out, you'll actually see moisture seeping from that wall that is downhill from it. And I don't think this one actually flowed, but that last storm we had that I had this in before, this swale was full of water, even down here. And I still haven't gotten to the point of digging. So I want that swale to go all the way over here, along with the drainage to that corrugated pipe. Those two kind of marry together, come all the way down here, and then snake down along here, this fence. This is the perimeter fence on this side of the property. Picked this swale up, and both of them will kind of, again, marry together and go all the way down toward the creek so that we can have better drainage. This is also a good chance for y'all to see my fence in all its ratchet glory. So far, so good. It's discouraged the deer. I know they used to pass right by here before, and I think it's modified their travel patterns a bit too, which isn't surprising. You put a giant square thing in, but it's just a bit too tall, and I'm sure their eyes are a little weirded out at dark with it. But have the gate on. Husband's lovely work. We're gonna have to do some kind of stabilizer between the two because the door is hitting this side, but gate's a gate, it's fine. So I don't get locked in. I'll just do a quick up and down. There's only 3 occupied rows, but let me actually do in alphabetical order. If you watched my garden plan video back in, January? I don't know. A, garlic. We got this mulched finally after the big rain, and a couple of the garlics haven't made it, so this is the only variety I know off the top of my head is the one down the end, and that's Adonai. The rest of these I have labeled in my garden planner, the app My Garden Planner, which is how I keep all this shit right in my head. This is actually the variety that when I transplanted it in February, they weren't even above the ground. They were just cloves with a little nub on them. So they've come up. They're a little bit behind the rest, but either they'll catch up or they won't. This is Adonai. This is the variety that I grew 2 years ago, kept over seed, and this is the second season of me growing it. Second? Third? Shit, I can't keep track of that anymore. This is row B, which is onions, and this row, as well as the next 3 rows, were heavily impacted by the water runoff issue before I put the swales in. So you'll see why I worked so hard to put the swales in. I started mulching these. They're in 3. 1, 2, can't see the end one, but there's one there. I tried to offset them so it would be, I see I've done a very good job, but it should be 1, 2, 3, so that they have 6 inches on each side. But I don't think I've done that as well as I wanted. So this is partially mulched, and you'll have a hard time seeing on video these onions. So a couple of them I stuck back in because they were big enough starts that I wanted to save them, but like this is one chunk of runoff that everything's gone. This is probably 2 feet wide, and this is the clay that's underneath that didn't get rototilled in. Another runoff river, but you can see the onions are still like this big boy. I probably stuck back in and said, you're too big of an onion to lose. And that's practically it. The garlic had gotten a little bit washed off, and this is where a lot of the loose soil went in this row, and I really should try to salvage some of it, but if you've ever tried to move gravel or dirt off of grass, you know how well that goes. So these are still ringmasters, the sweet white onions. And then this is where Patterson yellow storage onion starts. Again, these aren't mulched, so you probably won't be able to see them very well. But again, they're in 3s. They're easier to see along here. They've really jumped up. I think the white onions were smaller starts than the Patterson. Row C, empty, will be green beans. I'm gonna do 1 row. There's something that's gonna be down that end of it, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Because I know, 1/2 is gonna be snap peas, fresh eating peas, and the other beans. And then the other half is I'm going to try doing 2 types of dry beans, like soup beans. Haven't quite decided on the variety yet. I'll show you when we get down there. This row had pretty bad runoff too. D, cabbages and cauliflower and all that. Cauliflower isn't in yet. I'm gonna go on this side so you don't have to look through my shadow. Chinese cabbage. That's Varroa. I'm reading the tag in there, which is right in the middle. Primero. Omero. That's Omero. So what was that? Oh, that green one's tender sweet. Those are the ones that are supposed to be wide and flat. Omero, red. And these are 2 placeholders where these pots are for Pixie, which is a small variety that I planted kind of in the middle of 2 seedings because I forgot about it somehow. 1 kale and 2 kale. So that's why I say the deer haven't bothered my garden yet, because the kale's still there. And then the cabbages and the cauliflower and the broccoli are still getting hardened off every few hours a day. So they'll basically fill this row by the time it's done. But here's another deep tract that was left by the water. And actually you can see how heavily flowing this water was, because that is a tiller radish that came from all the way up there, from the cover crop up there. So it was raging when it was going. I may end up finding random carrots around in the garden too, because part of my carrot row got washed out. There's the other tract in row C. There's another tiller radish. Row E, I have no memory of what's going in here. Something hot weather, I assume. Okra and something else. Ooh, this is going to be exciting for y'all. So this is row F, potatoes. So this is the side that has the short season variety Sangra or Sangrai or whatever you want to pronounce it as. And they're starting to come up. Itty bitty babes. If I wanted to show you in this crude way, I'd actually dig up and show you the tuber and then this little teeny thing that happens to be above soil level. It's another tiller radish, or did I point that out already? So one, these aren't planted nearly as deep as I wanted. I know there's another one there, but it hasn't come up yet because that seed potato was down like 3 rows when I put it back in the ground. There's another one. So this is Sangre, the short one that's supposed to be like, I think it's up to, oh, there's another one. I think it's supposed to be like up to 70 days. So this is the middle variety Vivaldi, my very high-tech steak method. There's that one, the first one. I did these interspaced 1.5 feet, and I realized when I looked back at the gardening app that I could have done 1 foot 2 inches right there in a row like this. So I actually only got 15 plants this time instead of what I expected would be. That might be it. That isn't open enough for me to fully identify. That's not it. Oh, there it is. But I wanted 17. This one's fully up. This is the first caribou russet. And I don't know if these are the shallowest or if these have just been the least disturbed because of the drainage issue. But there's that first one, and that's definitely the biggest start I've had. But last year, that's probably coming off the same tuber. Last year, when I grew them in the 50-foot row, because these are 60-foot, I did the deep dug method. So I buried these tubers, I don't know, 8 inches deep, something like that. And I mulched them, but I didn't really do anything else to them. And they did great, but the ground is also broken up more. So these are shallower. I mean, this mound is really only maybe 8 inches at the very peak of it. But the way potatoes grow is as they go up, they go out. And I'm gonna have to mound these more to really get a good crop off them. So not what I wanted, but it's gonna be fine. This is FG. I didn't look at my plan before talking to you guys. I probably should have, so I'm more on the page. But I know this section, this might be where tomatillos are going. There's only gonna be 2 plants of tomatillos, and that's, I think, 11 feet. I mean, I know tomatillos spread out and they're extremely prolific. So giving that plenty of room. But here are the sweet peas. I know they look awful right now, but they're still in their transplant shock. But these will be planted behind the celeriac, the celery root, and then the rest of the celery. So actually the sweet peas, I should trellis them, do a little bit of that behind them on this side so that they can grow up. But they'll end up, because they're a foot apart, and so will the celeriac. So the celeriac will be like right between 2 of them. And I only have 4 celeriac, and I think I have 8 or 10 Utah tall celery. So they'll be squished in between. I don't remember what's supposed to be in the rest of this row. It might be peppers. It might very well be peppers, because I know this is 30 feet. And I'm doing 9 plants. No, this is carrots, because I remember looking. There's actually even, miraculously, I have carrot seedlings. This is carrots, and when my shallots are going to finish hardening off, because I've been a slacker, they're going to go right down the middle here so that there's supposed to be carrots down the sides with shallots in between. We'll see how it goes, because this end got washed out really bad, and I just kind of flattened it out and said, if you make it, you make it. This is going to be both tomatoes and peppers. I believe peppers on this end and tomatoes on that end. And I'm going to put another stand trellis like that over here for the tall varieties of tomatoes to stand on, the indeterminate types of tomatoes to stand on. And the peppers will have companions of leeks. We'll see if the leeks make it. There were very poor germination, and I don't know how well they'll transplant because it's not a good crop of leeks. So this edge is going to be the side that the gourds grow on, and they'll climb up again like last year, but minus the morning glory taking over the universe. And this side, this other half, will be all my watermelons. And the watermelons I'm growing this year are Cal Sweet Bush. So they're not long vining varieties, you know, like something like those huge watermelon types that looks like an infant can fit into. These are only like 3 to, I don't know, 6 foot long vines. So I'll let those actually vine on the ground. I'll probably put straw down or something. And then, so with this being gourds, this north side is peas. So this is actually, this is comically enough, I believe, one of the tall telephone peas, or 2 of the tall telephone peas that I direct sowed in early May, because that's where I stopped with the little purple snow pea. So these are the ones that I did pre-sprouting with, soaked overnight, pre-sprouted in a paper towel for a few days, and I stopped here because this is where I marked it. So anything after here, like where is it? I can't see it on the screen. I think it's right there. The pea. There's another one there actually. Those, I believe, will be the tall telephone, which get 6 to 8 feet tall. So those will go all the way up, because these are 2 feet off the ground. The bottom of this is 2 feet off the ground, and then the cattle panel is 4 feet, in this case, tall, and 16 feet wide. And then here's the beginning, or end, I guess, of the tall telephone, which are shelling peas. These didn't, even though I did these, I can't figure these peas out, because there's one, and I'm pretty sure that's from the original seeding. And there's another one, which might have been from the pre-sprouted seeding. And here's another one, which I think was one of the original. So we're gonna have to find out what we get with these. And the only way I'll know is how tall it gets. So tall telephone didn't do that great, but you know. Okay, let's wrap this up. This entire row of cover crop, which is tiller radish, field pea, hairy vetch, and rye, will continue to grow and hold down the extra soil until June or July, when it's time to do half a row of carrots and half a row of parsnips. And I'm doing pelleted seed for both because carrots are a pain in the ass to germinate. So if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. There's going to be so much going on this garden season. It's going to be really fun, assuming everything goes to plan, which there's an old saying that my grandmother used to say that said, man plans and God laughs. And I still find that true. So hope you have a great day. It's a beautiful day. Bye.